My favourite moment in filming was probably when we were in the barrels of the Royal River, and that's in the upcoming film. And the one that we've done, I think back then was, for me, my favourite time because that was when we got to know each other as actors but also as characters. And very smartly, that was the very first stuff that we shot. So, you know, there's a lot of improvisation in those first couple of weeks to kind of work out who we were and how we fitted into the group. So for me, that was probably the biggest thrill. And it's also the first time we've seen all of us together in one place, in costume, with Martin and Ian. And Ian, a lot of the time, was not even on our set. He was on another set where everything was shrunk down, and he was just acting to photographs on the stick of us. But he would come in to do the whole set as a block throw on our set first. Yeah, bagging was great. Very claustrophobic and very hot. But great food fight. Oh, phone's going off. Come on. You know you got questions you want to ask.
Tell us about your first study.
Yeah, I first started working for Peter back in 1991 on a fantastic zombie movie called Brain Dead. And yeah, I was actually doing a play written by Stevie Sinclair, who's one of the co-writers of Brain Dead. They couldn't find a character to play this, an actor to play the character of Void, so Peter Jackson came backstage and offered me the part, and I didn't know who it was. I hadn't seen Bad Taste or Meet the People, so I didn't have a clue who this slightly nerdy guy was. He was like, oh yeah, I wonder if you come and play a zombie in my film. I was like, no. But he let me read the script, and from reading the script I realised how funny it was. And it was probably the most fun 2.5 months I've spent on any set anywhere, because we were all kind of getting into filmmaking at the same time. Peter had done 2 movies, but this is the first movie he had a proper budget for, and he was able to employ actors and pay the crew properly. So yeah, it was good fun. And you know, as we know, it was a successful film in terms of it had a great cult following, and therefore they got money to make it new creatures. So yeah, I felt very lucky to have got them on the ground floor with Peter. And we still talk about those days being probably the most fun we've ever had. He actually had a zombie day while we were filming. All the crew, including Peter, got dressed up as zombies. Everyone apart from the dwarves. You can't have zombie dwarves. That's cross-pollination. It's like it's a double genre thing. You can't do that. It would just be weird. So we had to stay in costume when everybody else was zombies. It was actually, Peter was having a lot. He chased us all around the set every day. I don't think we shot Peter. Maybe some people, not me. I just ran, terrified. Good question though. This man asking good questions, some of the people. Some of the people aren't asking any questions. Just putting it out there, I'm not making any bad judgment here. But those people at the back, really, you know. You sir, do you have another question? You asked a good question. No, he didn't. He's got nothing. He's got nothing. Yes. Yeah, it was. I think the idea of it was more terrifying than the actual job itself. They set up a whole lot of safety lines, and the barrels had this big kind of steel keel, so they couldn't tip over, and we had these inner tubes around them. But once you were jammed into it, you were pretty much jammed into it, and it was a real river. And there was, you know, a couple of rapids further down, which could have been a bit dicey. I think actually William missed the safety line and ended up going down the river. And it was pretty funny for those of us that didn't. It's like, oh, yeah, it's really different. Let's go. But they set up a whole kind of set that they built in Trentham to do a lot of the close-up stuff where they built a river, basically, with these really high canyon walls, and they had 2 big V8 engines driving the river around in this big kind of circular thing. And I think the idea is they're going to make that into a ride somewhere in the States, probably Universal, or it won't be Universal because they're the enemy, but you know, maybe Disney World or something like that. So from that point of view, we overheated our costumes a lot because we had these big fat suits, because this is my normal size, actually. And because to get the dimensions right, we have to make them much wider this way, and give them big heads and, you know, big boots. And so we were just in our dwarven underwear, which is very fashionable. It's like a onesie. You pretty much just cruise around the house in it, you know, sleep in it, get up in the morning, you don't have to dress. That's probably how the dwarves are at home. You know, they don't dress up, they're just in their onesie kind of slouching around the place. So from that point of view, it was great. But yeah, there was an element of danger. I mean, Peter definitely likes to push his actors and put them in situations where you don't really have to act because you are truly terrified. And he giggles. He thinks that's brilliant. It's just how he is. We did the scene, these guys have told you, scene 88, where we're running away from the marks. We literally ran for a week, up and down hills, and people was thinking, oh, they're really tired. So, yeah. Here we are. We didn't have to do much acting. It was like, end of the day. I even wrote a song about it. It comes out of the extended DVD of the second movie. You'll have to buy a copy. Yeah. Yes. We're going to the pub. Well, we've kind of seen the movie a couple of times by then. And it's not that it's a bad movie, it's a great movie. I've seen it 3 or 4 times, 5 or 6 times now. But we actually hadn't seen our counterparts from the UK for a couple of months. They've been away, so we kind of went down to the reading centre and had a few drinks and had a bit of social time down the back. Yeah, it was good. I actually slept through some of the movie, the bits I wasn't in. So I slept for quite a bit of the movie. Yeah, it was interesting that in terms of they had the 2 cinemas, the MC and they had the reading, and some of the more high-powered stars were asked to go to the MC and some of us were asked to go to the reading centre, so we just decided to go down and have a wee tipple. Yeah. Yes. Oh, look, they're all coming out of the woodwork now. How did I get into acting? I went to Otago University to do a physical education degree, and in my 4th year, someone said if you do drama and you're a guy, you'll get an A. And I hadn't had an A in the whole 3 years I've been at university, so I thought, choice, I'm going to have a crack at one of those days and see what it's like to be an A student. It was pretty good actually. And while I was doing that course, the drama course, there was a play on called Wednesday to Come on the Fortune Theatre, and it's a story set in the 1930s when there were work camps in New Zealand during the Depression. My grandfather had actually supplied the Wairau work camp with food, so I knew the story. And I went, wow, if you can tell cool stories about New Zealand and make a living from it, that would be better than being a phys ed teacher. And it turned out it was true. Although, I have to say, I use all of those skills I learned as a phys ed teacher in my job. You know, I do a lot of physical acting, so from that point of view it was great. But yeah, I fell into it. I grew up on a farm in Taihape, a sheep and cattle farm, and no one up there knows I'm an actor. I don't tell them. Because I still want to go home occasionally and visit people. Yeah. Yes?
Apologies for this class because I was late getting here.
Oh, sorry.
Did you souvenir anything from the set?
I'm going to ask you first, did I souvenir anything from the set?
Yes.
Yeah. I own Ian McKellen. I have it in a lockup in my place. No, we were kind of, we were encouraged not to do that. Apart from the gold that I stole, we were encouraged not to take things from the set because they're still needed in the subsequent films. And also, it doesn't belong to us. And we're really honest, boys are really honest people. Not shifty-eyed at all. And even if I did, I wouldn't say publicly will I take it, apart from the gold, which everyone knows.
Dean confessed.
Yeah, Dean confessed. But he's not the smartest guy. Okay? Being an actor doesn't mean you're smart. I mean, some of us, incredibly intelligent, those of us with degrees, double degrees. But Dean, you know, he was that child actor. He never finished his education.
Sadly true.
Yeah, it's sadly true. We have to help him even sign his name. It's, you know, I mean, one of the other dwarves is down there holding his hand as we speak. And it's not his fault, it's just how it is. Yes, sir, sorry. What was it? Sorry? Yeah, I'd like to go to the States and do a Western actually. Having grown up on horseback and being bandy-legged, I already have a fair amount going for me, and I look really good in a hat. And I have my own gun. Probably shouldn't say that here. Oh, there's people walking around with guns out there all the time. It's not loaded and it doesn't shoot at all. And it's not a handgun, which you're not allowed to have. So yeah, I mean, I'd quite like to go, and I have a manager in the States now. They have a thing called the pilot season over there, which is on at the moment, and so I put down a couple of auditions on tape and got shortlisted for one thing. I was completely the wrong person for the part, but it was nice to get a shortlist. But yeah, I mean, unless we hurry up and shoot a Western here, I think, you know, my next port of call is I'm probably going to go to Vancouver next year. We get a year's dispensation being part of the Commonwealth, and they shoot CSI and NCIS and a lot of television in Vancouver, and they shoot a lot of Westerns there. So I want to go and shoot a Western. I'm like mad keen to do that. I want to shoot people. I want to be on a horse and I'll shoot people in the head. Basically. Yeah. That's a good question, really good question. First time anyone's ever asked me if I want to have a career outside of New Zealand. Because I haven't really wanted to until now. I've been very lucky that Hollywood has come to us. You know, all the work that they've done at Miramar in terms of setting up that studio, it's the very best studio in the world. Got to work on Tintin, both Peter Hamilton and I got to work on the reshoots at Tintin, and we had Spielberg up on screen asking why his studio wasn't as good as the one in Wellington. So I think from that point of view, it's maybe not necessary to go outside of New Zealand. I think some of the big films are looking at coming here, and we'd be mad to leave Wellington while they're shooting down home.
Yeah.
Yes, do you have a question?